So it's also really interesting because you mentioned pricing. And as I read the news as a household, I've got my boys now are, gosh, they're 15 and 13. You want to guess what our weekly grocery bill is here at the Taylor household? It's a lot. I mean, my children are like, my teenage boys are constantly eating, but I have to think that, especially in this inflationary economy, that consolidated buying power would actually drive prices down for the shoppers.
Well, theoretically true, because when you combine, and I have written about this where I said one of the values of Albertsons and Kroger, Albertsons and whoever else merging is you combine all of your spend together and you do collaborative procurement. So basically, instead of Albertsons buying their groceries on their own and Kroger buys their groceries and ingredients on their own, they combine it and they drive down the price of everything more because they are able to have so much more purchasing power. That all may be true, but it doesn't mean a retailer then has to pass that savings on to a consumer. Theoretically, they should, but in some cases they don't. Why? Because they know they are going to get more profit from that product if they actually raise prices. Instead of making 1% to 3% margin, maybe they make 15% margin. So that's one of the things that could happen. I can say this with no hesitation. I think Kroger's one of the more ethical grocery retailers out there. I think they do a fabulous job. So I am not anticipating that Kroger would ever do anything. However, what the FTC and the Department of Justice are going to be concerned with is would they, will they, is there a way for them to do it? And they have to investigate all that. And if they can't find any evidence of it, then they can't prevent the merger from going through because of something that may happen when there's no proof it ever has happened.
Got it. Okay. So another question, a little bit of a tangent here. So someone who I shop at Kroger primarily because it's like, less than a mile from my home. So it's convenience. And I also absolutely love the Kroger Boost program where I can get on my app and the groceries are delivered right to my doorstep for a small fee. And, you get your fuel rewards and all that. So I've been sucked into that e-commerce platform that they have in a very big way as well. But so it's from a shopper point of view, but then also the point of view that I have, being in this industry and even working professionally with Kroger. It's the only grocery retailer that the Produce Moms has had an enterprise-wide relationship with from a marketing point of view. I kind of would say that from my point of view, Kroger's always been chasing someone else. Like, I don't really feel like they've been the grocer that has made the big waves, when you open up the trade journals or read the news. But this to me feels like Kroger went from playing defense to Kroger playing offense with this merger announcement.
They had to. And the reason why they had to, again, they're not able to catch up to Walmart. There's no way they're going to close the gap with Walmart. On their own, Kroger controls about 9.2 to 10% of the market share. So combining with Albertsons will give them about 13 to 17% market share control. So they had to do it. The other thing is what Kroger's concerned with the most is Amazon. What will Amazon do? So when I worked at Kroger executives there remember when I had reached out to them in 2013 and I had written a research report and I reached out to Kroger and I said, look, I'm doing all this research. I'm writing this paper and I believe Amazon's going to acquire Whole Foods. And I said, I think Kroger should acquire Whole Foods and get ahead of Amazon immediately. Take away Amazon's ability to acquire a nationwide retailer. I said, I know you guys are looking at Harris Teeter. I said, leave that for Amazon because that's a regional player. And that limits Amazon immediately if all you leave them as a non-union Harris Teeter. And everyone at Kroger said, oh, Amazon's never going to do that. They'll never do that. So when I joined Kroger, they were like, well, we remember when you told us this. We wish we'd listened to you. But now we're stuck. We have to do something. And so when I worked for Kroger and when I left Kroger and I wrote articles about Kroger, I was always explaining to Kroger they had to be on offense 100%. Because I said, at the same time I'm writing about Kroger, I said, I'm also writing articles about Amazon. And when I told Amazon to acquire Whole Foods in 2013, I said, what you must do is within 2 to 3 years after you acquire Whole Foods, is you have to acquire the retailer Target and open up Whole Foods markets inside each Target store. And I said, if you do that, I said, you will win the grocery battle. I said, because number one, you're going to knock the market off of equilibrium. You're going to destroy the equilibrium. If you acquire Whole Foods, you'll shock everybody. I call that a Pearl Harbor moment. And I said, that will be your Pearl Harbor against the grocery industry. If 2 to 3 years later, you turn around and make an even bigger acquisition, you acquire Target and you open up Whole Foods markets inside Target stores. I said, now you've totally disrupted the entire retail industry, because what makes it interesting is Whole Food shoppers overwhelmingly shop at Target and Target shoppers overwhelmingly shop at Whole Foods. So it was a perfect fit. It was a match made in heaven. Now, Amazon hasn't done it. I think they've made a mistake. It's not saying that they'll never do it, but if it hasn't happened up to this point, I'm skeptical that it will. And frankly, Amazon hasn't done a lot with Whole Foods. I said to Amazon, if you don't acquire Target, you have got to introduce branded CPG products at Whole Foods, Coke, Pepsi, Doritos, Cheetos, all of that. And you change the name of Whole Foods to Whole Foods Plus. You get the best of organics plus all the branded products you love so much. And I said, will there be people screaming and yelling and hating it? Yes, but I said it'll be statistically insignificant. I said the reason why Whole Foods isn't growing today and didn't grow in the past is because there's nothing there that allows people to get everything they want under one roof. You either go in there for organics and natural products, guaranteeing you have to go to another retailer, or if you don't eat branded CPG products, yes, Whole Foods is where you shop, but that's the smallest segment of the grocery population who only want the natural foods. So there are many things I think Amazon still has to do. I still think Amazon can make an acquisition, but I wrote a paper the other day, a LinkedIn post. And what I said is this. I said, if I was really running the program at Amazon, I think I would just do nothing. And I'd sit on the sidelines for the next, 3 to 5 years as I watch Kroger invest billions to integrate Albertsons into their network. And I said, then what I would do is just acquire Kroger. Now you're guaranteed as Amazon to become the second largest grocery retailer overnight. The problem is the unions. Amazon's not a big fan of unions, but Amazon's having to deal with unions now. So I think Amazon can find a way to make unions their ally. I said to Amazon executives, if you aren't willing to acquire Kroger in 3 to 5 years, now you're back to my original strategy I designed in 2013. You either acquire Target and open up Whole Foods markets, or you acquire Costco and you open up Whole Food markets inside Costco. But there really aren't many companies that Amazon can acquire. I don't see a lot of value of Amazon acquiring Ahold Delhaize, although they could do that. Amazon could acquire Kohl's and open up Amazon Go stores in every Kohl's. But from a pure strategy perspective, I have to go with what's the big bang. Either acquire Kroger or Target. If Amazon doesn't do that, I'm really interested to see if they are going to even stay in the grocery game, because it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Amazon says, this isn't for us. We're really not good at it, and we're not willing to invest that many billions into it.
It's within reason where they could even divest Whole Foods then.
Exactly. And I've written that. I've actually written that several times where I said, if Amazon can't make Whole Foods work and Amazon won't introduce branded CPG products into the store, I said, just divest it. And the company that should own Whole Foods is Target.
Yeah.
Again, it makes perfect sense. The culture at Target, the culture at Whole Foods, they're perfect for each other. So I think that we're going to see some really interesting things take place over the next year or two. Amazon has to fire back, or Amazon has to commit internally to saying, let everybody shoot the arrows they want at us, because in 3 to 5 years, we buy Kroger and we shut everybody up.